Hey guys, Chris here. Today we're doing the Norwegian High Speed Run in the Volvo XC40 P8 Recharge. The Norwegian High Speed Run is my range and efficiency test where we travel from Circle K here in Sandvika to the train station in Kristiansand and then back again. The whole trip is 615 kilometers, and the whole point of this test is doing it as quickly as possible. So we really are battling the clock, and there are two main things we are putting through the test in this video, and that is the consumption, the efficiency of the vehicle, and also how fast it can charge, because those two things combined really dictates how fast you can travel from point A to point B to point C in an EV. And high consumption really can be compensated with high charging speed, so that is also very interesting. And this car, boasts a maximum charging speed of 150 kilowatts, but from tests we have done, we really know that your average charging speed is probably more important, which is around 75 to 80 kilowatts in this car with the conditions we have today, which are about -3 degrees here outside of Oslo. But we should have a few plus degrees and a few showers when we go to Kristiansand. As per usual, the maximum speed I'm doing today is 10% above the speed limit. And also, according to a Better Route Planner, which is the app I use to plan these trips, this trip should take 7 hours and 39 minutes with 4 charging stops. But I think if we drive efficiently enough and plan a bit better, we can do it with only 3 charging stops. But before we set off, I want to show you guys a thing that's very important to know about this car. As you can see, guys, we are currently at 89% state to charge, and we are charging at 16 kilowatts. Yeah, that is super slow. And we're also running the heater, so if we turn off the heater, we're probably only doing about 14 kilowatts. But yeah, here you can see, guys, it estimates will be fully charged at 11:07. The time is 9:37. So this car charges super slow, above 80% state to charge. So for this test, we're only going to go to about 95% state to charge, because it will take too long to go to 100%. And according to a Better Route Planner, we're just going to lose about a minute in travel time. So we're going to just deduct that minute at the end of the test. 39 minutes on the road, guys, and as you can see, it has started to snow outside. We have some light snowy weather, but the conditions aren't actually that bad. Here we have some snowy patches, but mostly we have had clear lanes, so I don't think it's going to affect the consumption too much. And to talk about consumption, we are now at 31.6 kilowatt hours or 31.5 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which isn't bad at all. The temperature is now -4 degrees Celsius, but that should climb to 3 or 4 plus degrees as we get further south. So I think driving on this surface here is like driving on a wet surface. I might be wrong, but looking at the consumption and tests I've done when it has been dry outside, yeah, this isn't too bad. But something that is really cool is the infotainment system here. And yeah, now we have a bit of traffic here. Look at these slow moving guys. Okay. Somebody wants to be careful. I don't mind that. Yeah. So as you can see here in the infotainment system, it shows how much state of charge we are going to have when we arrive at our destination. So the destination here is the Circle K station in Bamble. That was what a Better Route Planner wanted us to stop at to charge. But I think we will be able to go to Fortum Shell in Tvedestrand. If we are able to go there, we could do this trip with only 3 charging stops. So let's try that. Hey Google, navigere til Fortum Shell Tvedestrand.
Navigere til Fortum charging station.
Okay, so the car estimates we will arrive there with 9% state of charge. So I think that will, go down as we get further south. But I'm going to try to go there, just going to monitor, the state of charge here. And if we dip too close to 0, yeah, we'll just have to stop at the Circle K in Bamble then. Okay guys, we made it to Tvedestrand. We are here, and let's take a look at what the board computer is saying here. It's saying 0% state to charge and 6 kilometers to go. And yeah, the GPS was actually saying that we would arrive with 2% state to charge. So that is quite interesting that these two guys here aren't aren't agreeing with what state of charge we will arrive with. But yeah, these are the infamous, now just before we do that, yeah, 0% state of charge, our consumption, 29.9 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. And just to quickly take a look at the board computer here. These are some stats, -1 degree Celsius outside, 222.4 kilometers, and have we traveled 2 hours and 39 minutes. But you can see our average speed is 87 kilometers an hour, and usually when we're here it's around maybe like 97 or 98, but we will deduct, you know, the time at the end, what we have lost in traffic today, and we will probably, you know, see some more traffic on the way back. But yeah, so let's go ahead and connect the charger. This is where we have had problems with the Audi E-Tron earlier, but that problem seems to be specific Audi E-Tron problems, because actually after I made that video, Kempower reached out to me and wanted to borrow the E-Tron 60 that I borrowed, or that S, to test. And I know that Møller Mobility Group, the importer of Audi in Norway, have been in contact with Kempower, so they are sorting that out. And I've asked them to include me in the loop, so I could, you know, make an update video when that is sorted out. So we will see. But yeah, this thing doesn't have any problems with connecting and getting speed here. You can see we are now at 3%, which is very interesting. So the car indicated 0, but we actually had 3% state of charge left. But you can see there to go to, yeah, let's see what kind of speeds we are getting here. I did put the destination into the charger, so it should preheat according to some sources if this car is equipped with a heat pump. And I have asked Volvo to confirm, or to not confirm that information. They are working out to find that out for me. I haven't heard back from them since this morning, but let's see if we can get some speed here. We're getting 77 kilowatts. Okay, so while we wait for that to speed up, I want to talk about today's sponsor. We have a sponsor in today's video, and that sponsor is the subscribe button down below, and also the like button. The like button helps with the YouTube algorithm. The more likes the video gets, the more it's recommended, the more people watch it, and the happier I am, meaning I am able to make more and more of these videos and dedicate more and more time. And also subscribing to the channel makes me super happy. And for the last 4 days, you guys have been insane, because we have gained almost 500 subscribers in the past 5 days. So that's 500 subscribers in the past 5 days. That is insane. But I've set a goal to reach 20,000 subscribers at the end of January. So I'm really asking you guys, I know as much as 85% of you guys aren't subscribed to the channel. So if everybody who's watching this video actually clicks that subscribe button down below, we will be able to get to that 20,000 mark. That would be crazy, guys, at the end of the month. And as a reward for you, I'll do something crazy. I don't know what that's going to be yet, but comment down below something crazy you guys want me to do, and the comment that gets the most upvotes, I'll do it. But yeah, it has to be legal, and I'm, you know, not risking, you know, cutting off any limbs or dying or something like that. But comment something crazy you want me to do with the car or something else. It really doesn't matter. And the comment that gets the most upvotes. So guys, subscribe and click that like button, and also hit that notification bell so you are, you know, notified when we have new videos. So let's go ahead and see if we have gotten any more speed. No, we are at 86 kilowatts. So yeah. Let's go ahead, sit inside, do some calculations off camera, and see how much we have to charge up to get to the next charging stop. Okay, so I've done some calculations off camera. I have my trusted notepad here. And considering that we left with 95% stated charge, we arrived with 3% stated charge, we take that, which is 93% stated charge consumption, and then we take the 222 kilometers we had driven, and then we do some math. That gives us a theoretical range of 240 kilometers under the conditions we've had. But we know that the conditions shouldn't be as bad to Kristiansand because, yeah, 0 degrees Celsius, it should be a few plus degrees. And also the max or the average speed should be lower, but we did have traffic. So yeah, so just considering we have the same consumption, we should be able to go to Kristiansand and then back here again with 80% state of charge. That should give us enough safety margin for, you know, differences in consumption. So I think we're going to do that. And that's where, you know, the trusted old charge curve comes into play, which is very practical because you can see from the charge curve here that we have quite decent speed up to around 75% state of charge, but from 75 it just drops off, like I think it's like at 78 or 77, it just drops off like a cliff to around like 29. So from like 65, 70 kilowatts down to like below 30. So I think we can do this trip with only 2 charging stops instead of 4. That will be insane, but we will see at the end of the day if that, you know, makes this travel quicker. At least it makes it more comfortable, right? Having to stop only 2 times instead of 4 times. So let's check out our charging speed now. Let's see if we can, do we have to roll down a window? Yeah, we're gonna do that. So we are colgating. Most definitely, I think we can confirm that this car doesn't preheat because I've been on the road for more than 2 hours. We set the destination of the charger into the GPS and it is 0 degrees Celsius outside. I have gotten better speeds at much colder temperatures with driving less time. So yeah, I think that is debunked that this car preheats the battery. Welcome to downtown Kristiansand and the beautiful rainy weather of the south tip of Norway. Yeah, 3 degrees Celsius. And for once, there are actually vacant chargers here at the Grønne. Oh shit, that woman just walked in the middle of the road. I thought she heard me, yeah. She didn't, but okay. So they're actually vacant. Usually they aren't. These are HPC chargers, 150 kilowatts, so quite nice. So what about turning radius here on the XC40? Yeah, that's nice. That isn't bad. I think it was icy here, so that woman just slid, but yeah. Fortunately, she didn't fall. So we are now halfway. We have an average consumption of 29.9 kilowatts. Kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, and yeah, this intersection here is without any traffic lights at the moment. So I think we've been on the road for 4 hours and 15 minutes. So the question is, I think that 7 hours and 39 minutes, even though we are going to, you know, remove some time at the end or correct the time, I think we're still quite off ways that time. But yeah, we have now 43% state to charge left, and we will have no problems going to Fortum Tvedestrand. We are now back at Fortum Shell Tvedestrand. We arrived here with 9% state to charge, and our average consumption is now at 30.2 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. And I said when we stopped here before that we could do this trip with only 2 charging stops, but yeah, I forgot that this car just charges super slow above 80% state of charge, and it doesn't make any sense to try to go to 100%. We spent 93% from Oslo and down here, but we actually had a slight tailwind on the way down and should have a headwind on the way up. So we might be able to get back on one charge, but that means going above 80% to something like 95 or 100%, and that doesn't make any sense at all. So we're going to top up to about 30, maybe 40%, I mean 35, maybe 40% stated charge to get to Circle K Bamble, and then, yeah, we'll just find out how much we're going to charge when we get there. We are now here at Circle K in Bamble. We arrived with 12% stated charge, and our consumption has now dropped to 30.0 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. But I want to show you guys something that is a bit weird, because as you can see here on the screen, let's go ahead and zoom in. Look at that, guys. We are getting 131 kilowatts of charging speed at 17% state of charge. 132, yeah. As you can see there. So the big old question is, does this car actually preheat the battery, or doesn't it preheat the battery? Because when I went to the Fortum chargers in Shell, and you guys saw me, I said Shell Fortum Tvedestrand, and it found Fortum Shell Tvedestrand, right? It even said charging station or something like that. But maybe, I don't know, my hypothesis is that it doesn't recognize, I mean the GPS doesn't recognize those chargers as a charging station. It only recognizes the name, if you understand what I'm saying. So it doesn't preheat the battery, because we didn't get optimal speed either on the way down or on the way up. But here, yeah, 133 now, we are getting the speed. So, okay. So I think this car actually does preheat the battery if you put a charger into the destination, but you have to be sure that the car actually recognizes a charging station or a charger as a charger. Yeah, it's a bit weird, but I think that is what you have to do. So this is our last charging stop. We have 163 kilometers left to go to Oslo, so I think we'll top up to around 75, maybe 80%. Should give us enough juice to get back to Circle K in Sandvika. We are finally back here at Circle K in Sandvika. We arrived with 5% stated charge, and our average consumption today has been 30.6 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. And that is the highest recorded consumption out of any vehicle we have had on the Norwegian High Speed Run. But we have also had the worst conditions, arguably, in this test with, you know, -5 degrees as the coldest. We have had snowy weather. We have had lots of rain. Yeah, we have had terrible conditions. The total time today spent was, drum roll, 8 hours and 33 minutes. But we were stuck behind snowplows twice on the motorway and also other slow moving traffic. Our average speed today has been 91 kilometers an hour, which is quite a bit slower than, you know, we usually have on this trip. So if we take, you know, the average speed of something like the Jaguar I-Pace, which had a clean run, which was 97 kilometers an hour, we could safely deduct 25 minutes from the time, putting this at a time of 8 hours and 8 minutes, just a hair in front of that Jaguar I-Pace. But, you know, plus minus 5 or 10 minutes really isn't anything at all. It's basically the same travel time. This isn't a scientific test. We will always have, you know, variations and variables that we just can't control. So we're gonna put it at 8 hours and 8 minutes. It's basically the same time as the Jaguar I-Pace, and that is quite impressive, actually, considering that this is 100,000 kroners less than that EV320 and about 200,000 kroners less than an EV400. So yeah, that's not bad. But you might say also that, well, lower average speed means lower consumption, so it's not that fair. But yeah, I think the snowy weather we had today really balances and counters that weather we have had. So if we, you know, had rainy weather like we had with the Jaguar I-Pace EV320, I think, you know, the total time would have been similar and the consumption would have been even lower, even though we would have had a higher speed. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the time today. You know, it wasn't going to be at the top of the board, you know, and still about 50 minutes less than something like an Audi E-Tron 55, but you know, the fastest charging with this really compensates for the high consumption we have had today, putting it in front of the Jaguar I-Pace EV320. So I'm quite happy with that, and if you have this car, you should be quite happy with that. So I don't think that's too bad at all. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below, and for more car content, as always guys, please subscribe. See you guys later and goodbye.